told him to. Don't worry, me and Zaid can carry this
I'm
conversation.
on it. Okay, I'll watch it eventually.
And I found somebody.
I'm very center stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna move it back a little bit, but I think probably. Okay, hey y'all. I know we.
Oh, are we live right now?
Yeah, we're already live.
Okay. We're gonna have to be really loud since the phone's so far away.
Yeah, I think that's the only way we're gonna be. Oh my god.
And
What are we doing here?
Yes.
this is I'm taking my hat off
totally
for this
accurate.
episode so you can see my face.
So, we're in a different spot again.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've been here before 2 times actually.
Twice.
I think.
Yeah.
This is most similar to the last time that we were here because we got the same lighting going on.
Honestly, this lighting kind of sucks. Maybe we should go back to the white light.
Maybe. This is the remote over here?
Yeah.
We can
We're
see.
we're not too professional over here on Nader and the Hater.
Obviously,
What's your show's name? Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what?
Right.
What do you want to be
So-
called?
I'm Zaid. I'm
Yeah,
their
okay.
kidnappee for tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we abducted him, or Nate abducted him. You hit the button that has a K on it.
K?
Yeah. And you'll go up.
I don't see. Oh, that.
That's the one.
Honestly, yeah, that is better.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to have my hat off, which is weird. I don't think I've done a podcast with my
I
hat
don't think I've
off.
ever seen you with your hat off.
Ever? Like never?
No, the first
ever?
time I met him was at the Halloween party, and I just didn't have
Yeah,
a hat
no,
on.
You had a hat on.
No, I actually specifically didn't have a hat on. At
Oh,
the
really?
Halloween party
Then I'm
because it
misremembering.
was part of my costume.
Ah.
What were you dressed as?
Sam Winchester.
That's
Once
right.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
tonight.
dressed him.
So I just had my hair down
Yeah.
and put a flannel on.
Yeah. At least he wore a trench coat, which is like a little abnormal.
You were...
Like Dustin from Stranger Things.
You were Bert, or were you Ernie?
I don't remember the.
He was orange.
I was the orange one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember the who was who.
I think that was Bert, because Ernie is the tall one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was the cool. The.
He was the orange one. He was
Yeah,
the
I was
He
the
was the
orange
orange one. Jax was the yellow one.
Oh wait. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yellow for Muppets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Muppet.
yellow Muppets, yeah.
Yeah.
The Muppets.
Yellow like the crown.
Yeah.
The what?
Crown?
A crown?
I mean crayon.
A crown.
Okay.
A crown.
A
Yes.
crown.
Like a
That you color with? A crown?
a crayon.
A crayon.
Crayon?
Yeah.
Ugh, no.
Crown is like
Uh-uh.
gold. Not
That's like...
like that's like
on your head.
adorned.
Yeah, that's
like,
a crown.
Okay.
You're thinking about crown.
A crown.
Crayon.
A crown.
Crayon.
No.
Am I a fake southerner? I don't know.
Ah.
I think
okay.
I might just have a speech.
I'm born
a
and
smidge
raised,
more.
people. I ain't no faker.
Well, see, there's a difference because I am a white trash southerner.
No.
I grew
Yeah.
up with a broke down car and multiple large kitchen appliances in my front yard.
We also usually had a broke down car.
One time my car
In front
broke
of
down
us.
at Petty Jean Mountain.
But that's because
I was on Petty Jean. Like, I couldn't go anywhere.
oh
I
god.
was volunteering for summer camp.
Yeah.
And I was, for his first year I was the CIT, counselor in training. So, but I got up
I
there.
think you're probably gonna have to speak a little.
Oh,
louder.
well, anyway, I got up there early because I misread the email.
Uh-huh.
It said, get up here at 7:15. And I was like, I can do that bet. And, turns out it was 9:15. I was 2 hours early.
Oh god.
So, no, I went on grounds. No one was there, not even the groundskeeper.
So you just like showed up and
So I showed up and I left. And there was no service up there.
Yeah.
Literally, there was no
Right.
service.
Because you're
So,
on top of a mountain.
because on top of a mountain. And so I decided to drive around and see all the sights, right? I pull into this little cafe that's on the mountain. It's like in the shape of a triangle. Kind of looks like the Mystery Shack.
Uh-huh.
So I go up
Oh,
there.
yeah, their coffee's actually really
That's
good.
you know, I had breakfast there, and
Yeah.
they were very nice people.
I don't remember what it's called.
I thought I was only going to be in there for a little bit, so I left my keys in my ignition, which is a terrible thing. to
Oh,
do.
yeah, never do that.
no.
And my battery was already low. I knew
Wait,
this
hold on.
was
So you
bad.
left? Did you leave the car on?
No, I left my keys in my ignition.
You just left the keys in the ignition.
So it's beeping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought I was only going to. I thought I was only going to grab a coffee and like a pre-made bagel. I was going to be out there in like 5 minutes.
Nope.
And no, so
Yeah,
it
to
took
have
longer than I
breakfast.
thought. I forgot about it. My battery was already low. I already had to get a jump to get my car started. Get back in my engine instead. It's like there's just
Yeah.
no starting it.
Yeah.
So I kind of started panicking because it was
No
like,
battery.
oh, it's 8:30. It's I
I'm
actually need to
gonna
get
be
there
late.
now
Yeah.
because like I'm gonna be late.
You were there 2 hours early, but now you're
gonna be late.
late.
So a very nice Southern gentleman, he gave me a jump, and I was able to get
Southern
there.
hospitality. There.
He was
Southern
like,
hospitality.
boy, your father ever teach you how to use jumper cables? And I was like, yeah, yes sir, he did. He was like, you have them in your car? I was like, yeah, yes sir, and he was very nice about it.
I actually don't have jumper cables in my car.
I actually stole the jumper cables out of your car and they're in my car.
Oh, yeah, that's why I don't have
Try to
jumper
get this
cables.
back.
Yeah, so they were in the van.
That's true. They were in Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico, and Uncle Rico is out of commission right now.
Mhm.
So he's actually out in this yard.
This is a white trash yard.
Oh yeah.
That's the car you took to high school, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The van, yeah.
Big old van.
Big
So
old red
so
van.
a little context. The high school, we all went to the same high school.
This is true.
This high school has a big. It's a big parking lot.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids, but all the spaces are really small.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Uncle Rico is a 12-foot van, I think. Might be 10.
Roughly.
I don't know.
10 to
It's
12.
up there.
It's a full size van.
Larger than your normal Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla.
Oh yeah. So and me, I was especially my senior year, I never showed up on time because I had study hall first period, and they should never ever ever give seniors study hall first period because they just won't come.
No.
Speaking from experience,
I did.
You're a nerd.
Well, I
We
didn't have
both
my
passed.
own vehicle. We both barely passed.
Yeah, but you went to class and I didn't, and we still both barely passed.
Well,
so-
see, I was in class, but I was not in class.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
I had to work
Hey,
holidays.
you know, one of the times I was.
See, I tried really hard to do that, but my grades were too bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it had its benefits and its like, I don't know, benefits and penalties. I guess.
Well, you were coming from a different city.
Yeah, I was coming from a different city.
So
it was.
you had to drive.
Yeah, it's like it was either I could work after school, which I had already had the job, right?
Mhm.
And what I did my junior year is I guess I did a little bit. No, I didn't do. I did my senior year. I did work called. So on my junior year, what I'd do is I'd come into Conway. I'd go to school for 8 periods, and then I'd leave. Right, because my final period it was basically empty. It was a study hall, but
Yeah.
I had permission to leave it to go to my job.
Yeah.
Right.
So
There's a study hall.
it's study hall. There's something useful there. So I would go and I'd get ready to go to my job.
Not for a big old fart smelling like this guy.
I was employed for most of my high school experience, so
This guy.
I'd go at 3:15 and I'd go work, and then I'd get off at like 8:39, and then I'd drive an hour home, and I'd get home at like from 10:30 to 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also had a.
Don't do that. It's very exhausting.
Yeah.
When
I
you're
had
in
a
high school.
I had a similar experience. I
When you
worked
at Taco Bell?
I worked my senior year.
Mm.
Well, tail end of my junior year. I originally worked at Taco Bell, which was very close to our high school, and
Yeah.
I did walk to work most days, which was not fun. I wouldn't say most days, but quite a few
Yeah.
days. I had to figure something out. Either my mom would come pick me up.
Why you never ask me?
I did.
I mean, yeah, a few times, but like,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess the gas in that van was expensive. I probably had to
Yeah.
tell you no a few times.
You did.
Yeah.
You told me no majority of the times.
Oh,
that I
come
asked.
on.
And I
Yeah,
would get off
probably.
really late. I would get off at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
which is also very bad. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
one time when
After
I was-
work
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
after school, then you work at 11, and
And
you gotta
that-
go to
It's
school
exhausting.
the next day. Yeah,
It
yeah,
really
yeah.
is. You
It
like
is.
you're. It's like you're just on your feet for that long, and your brain is already tired, and you've been dealing with like. Of course, there's a difference. It's like working after school for me. It made me want to go back. I would be like, take me back to class. Take me back to class.
No.
That was
not
my
me.
experience.
Not this guy.
No.
No. This guy was like, take me home.
But I was like
Or go
always on
home.
expo. I was always like bellhop. I would always run out of
I've
hours.
seen you at that little sauce cart quite a few times.
Yeah, it was. I worked condiment cart for like my first good chunk of my time working there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has its blessings. Don't get me wrong. You're not running around a lot. But at the same time, when it gets cold, it gets very cold.
Oh yeah.
And your heater is right above
And you
your
have
head.
to wear So you worked at Chick-fil-A, right?
I worked at Chick-fil-A.
You have to wear their
Just
clothes.
out.
You have to
like
wear
that.
their clothes. The jackets you wear. What?
Maybe he didn't want to tell people where he worked.
I mean, he didn't like.
No,
sign
that's
NDA
fine.
or anything.
He probably did actually.
No, I actually don't care.
No, you're fine. Legally, I did sign an NDA when I started working at Taco Bell.
So did I.
Yeah, but I have told
So,
all of the
at
Taco
Chick-fil-A,
Bell
But
secrets.
you worked at multiple different fast food restaurants.
Yeah, I actually currently work at a not necessarily fast food restaurant,
Yeah.
but
But you could just be like, oh, it was just one of the places I worked. I wasn't saying specifically Taco Bell, you know.
Anyway.
But you also just.
it's also pretty clear when I talk about cooking meat.
Yeah. From a
Pre-cooked
bag.
meat came in a bag and we boiled it in a giant boiler.
Yeah.
And that's how they cook everything at Taco Bell.
I saw how the I don't. My
Is it a boiler or a
I
fryer?
don't care. Who cares?
It was a boiler.
Like it's water? It's just
Yeah.
Oh. Like salt water.
No.
No, just water.
Just water.
Why is their shit so salty then?
In the pot, you're just like.
No, they didn't open the bags.
Oh, you
No, nope.
did? You boiled them in the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
it's
I knew that part. So.
This is a type of cooking. It's called sous vide.
Uh-huh.
And there was a little bit of a trend going around because it's just heating water and using the heat from the water to cook the
Yeah.
food.
So there's these things called immersion circulators. They do that. They work on the same principle, except they're machine powered.
Yeah.
And they're made to keep. Instead of like being on a stove, it's just like the container itself is the cooking instrument. So like.
Oh yeah, it was that.
Yeah, it's like an immersion circulator. You just put your food in a bag and you put it in the water, and this little machine on the side of it will heat the water and move it in a current.
Yeah,
So
that's what it did.
So that it's basically.
so it probably is just one of those.
So it's made so it's impossible to overcook the meat, because like if it's never. Well, that's the thing. It's really cool because if you're using it properly, theoretically it should be impossible to overcook your food because it's only going up to a set amount of temperature, and then it's just keeping at that one thing. Maybe it can be overcooked, but it's not going to be over.
So
It's not gonna be like
the issue
burnt.
was
It's not burnt.
the issue was at Taco Bell that we cooked all of the meat in the same one,
Mhm.
oh,
so it couldn't just be set at one temperature
Yeah,
because then it would take like 20 minutes.
because
to cook.
that would be too convenient.
Right. It would take like 20 minutes to cook the chicken if it was set for the time for the beef.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
even though the beef came pre-cooked, we were actually just really heating it up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, so did the chicken. Actually, everything
no.
came pre-cooked and frozen, and we just heated it up in the machine.
golly.
But it was still the one temperature set for the thing that would take the longest
Yeah.
to reheat, which was chicken. Because Taco Bell does have chicken. It's gross.
I'll say this about Chick-fil-A.
Chicken's so
They
much
may not
better
like gay
than
people, but they definitely. I've seen how they make their sandwiches. It's pretty above board. Like,
Tender love and care.
I wouldn't say tender love and care. It's still some poor 18-year-old who's making your sandwich. But,
yeah.
But I mean, like, their fillets are frozen,
It's clean.
but they do everything in house. You know, it's all
Yeah.
it's all very clean.
Well, it is technically fast food.
yeah, it is.
And there's no way that you could fresh cook
It's like all
fried chicken.
No, it's
Like,
kind of out
to
of
take that
necessity.
one.
I imagine if there was
Yeah.
a cheap way to do it, they would have.
It's all
But-
of it, essentially.
Kind of,
It's
yeah.
fancy fast food.
It's fancy fast food.
And let's be honest, Olive Garden
So
is fast food.
Debatable.
I guess it could be considered fast food, but
Maybe
I
20
kind
years.
of disagree.
A lot, especially their noodles, they don't make them in the house. They
Well, no. I mean, they meant.
Olive
Olive Garden.
Garden.
It's not Pasta Garden. That'd be trademark infringement.
Yeah, they're making the olives in house. Obviously.
They
Well,
have
I
an
mean, I
olive
don't-
tree in
I-
the back, and they have a designated plucker who makes $80,000 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He gets
8,000.
where
That's
he goes,
not
Tell me your secrets, olive tree. Tell me
8,000.
your
That's
secrets.
not a lot of
I
money.
don't know.
80,000.
I said
80,000. That's
because that's important from Italy, obviously.
yeah, yeah. They have to port the person.
That's more than a high school teacher makes.
Yeah.
real. One of my high school history teachers had a second job on the weekend.
Yeah, she worked at Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
This was also actually my high school.
We had the
history
same.
teacher.
Who
Did
was
we
this?
ever have the same class? Or
No,
we
we
just
did
had her.
not.
Yeah, you had her in a different period.
You had her at the beginning of the day. I had her at the end of the day. Or it was the other way around.
I don't had her at
remember.
the end of the day.
Yeah, it was the other way
Conway,
around.
Conway sucks as a school district.
Yeah.
If you can get your kids to go anywhere else but Conway, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They-
So
they
so
don't have
actually,
teacher loyalty
yeah.
at all.
that's crazy because
They're actually one of the highest rated.
They're highest
schools in the
rated
state.
But they treat their teachers like absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
That's true. Unless you are a coach.
Unless you're a coach, then they pay you
Well-
$2 million a year from a rival school to come in and lose professionally.
Well, yes.
Yeah, we
And
didn't
no.
win.
No.
We didn't win our game.
No, we didn't. We lost our games. I'm not talking
Yes.
about that.
And
A
they
lot of the
coach-
coaches were also treated not great.
Yeah,
They're just treated better than the teachers,
That's true.
which
it's
is
not a
very
high
good.
bar.
No,
No, not at all.
If the bar is here, the teachers are here. The coaches.
But I
are
mean, they're
here.
teachers. They're
Yeah.
only like, I don't know, introducing the newest generation to the world.
Yeah,
Like, they're,
I
they're
mean,
not like.
Which is a
doing
shame
anything
because I
important.
had so many great teachers at Conway.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So like somebody I would go to bat for, they deserve even better districts.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
So
like they just cut so much stuff my senior year.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end of it, they cut the entirety of culinary,
Yeah.
and they
Oh, yeah.
just put funding back in culinary, and they cut it.
Well, and they cut construction, right?
They
So-
did, yeah, as well.
But I mean, that was a little different.
yeah, they actually were going to cut the whole entire career center program,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the class that started that.
Yeah.
The cuts, which was a welding class,
Yeah.
which is should be a very structured, safe, responsible environment, but it was not.
No.
Who was your welding teacher?
So throughout the
I
years,
don't know if
I
you
had
should say his name.
yeah.
Probably not. He wants to know. So this welding teacher though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what he did.
So this welding teacher, I actually have known him for a very long time. He was my school bus driver, and he was my school bus driver from like second grade all the way up until like 10th grade, 11th grade. And the class, first of all, the class was kind of nuts. There was one point where we literally were basically running a fight club in one of the back rooms.
Yeah.
Really?
There
That's.
were-
I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wait, fight club?
Yeah.
Like, were you actually like being?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
No, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. Nobody talks about Fight Club.
Yeah,
obviously.
I guess
We're
it's
talking
not-
about it right now, though. Actually.
Come on, didn't you know the
I'm not
first
in the
and
school
or
anymore.
second rules?
And there's also an entirely restructured welding program now.
Yeah.
That's a wholly
I'm
different
sure
than
there's
what's
not a
before.
Fight Club in the welding class. Which that's like the worst spot to do that, right?
No. No cameras.
Well, yeah. No, I get that. I'm saying like safety speaking, like
We had rules.
you have rules.
Yeah.
You're fighting next to a
It's a
like,
club. It
No,
has
no,
to have
no.
some
Okay,
organization.
there was a room in the back that was a long corridor, like a hallway. It just didn't connect to anything, and it was technically a storeroom, but it was completely empty, and they didn't allow the welding kids access to the locker room anymore because they were doing a lot of stupid stuff in the locker room. So our locker room
Alright.
was this corridor, and that's where we were supposed to get changed. That's where a lot of kids kept their bags and their clothes and stuff.
Okay.
So sometimes a few kids would just sneak off into the corridor, and they'd fight out some
And
differences.
they'd have lovely gay sex.
friendly
Yeah.
friendly fades though.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's the thing we had at our high school is we would just like, not we. I never did this. Shit.
No.
It's stupid. But like a lot of people, they would just like, yo, we're like best friends, right?
So
We love each other.
there
we're
were
gonna
a
fight each
few
other.
things that this happened. So there were two different names: chest boxing and shadow boxing.
Yeah.
And they would go in the bathrooms. In chest boxing, you're not allowed to hit above the shoulders or below the waist. And you're not allowed
Just
to
punch
kick.
him in the boots.
So you're just punching in the tit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tit punching.
Yeah, and shadow boxing was a little less structured, but you weren't actually technically supposed to hit each other.
So like shadow boxing is dumb because shadow boxing actually, what it actually is nothing like that. Shadow boxing is
Yeah.
literally just punching the air.
right,
It's
yeah.
training, but
It's
without
training
a bag.
technique. Yeah,
But the way
That's
they use
beautiful,
it at
man.
our
That's
school,
beautiful.
because I got in a few arguments with a few different people about this.
Yeah.
They were talking to their friend about shadow boxing, and I was like, this was like, okay, this would have been 11th grade at this point, so I was actually in MMA, and so I know what
Yeah,
shadow
I
boxing.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
We actually
I was
both
only
did for a
I was
little
only in Muay Thai, which is kickboxing. I was only in that for a little bit. I was mostly in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
But when I was in Muay Thai, I knew what shadow boxing was because I was doing a little bit of it on the side.
yeah,
And
because it's a technique used for training your like basic skills.
Right. When you don't have money for a punching bag, you punch the air,
Right.
and it's not as like good because you don't get like the actual force behind your punch. It's just kind of it's not as good for you like in training wise, but it's good for you in like remembering the techniques.
Trains your muscles, muscle memory.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So I got in a few arguments with different people that would just happen to be talking about it. And I was like, oh, so you, like
You know?
you do it, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like, no,
No.
I'm just fighting my friends in
Yeah,
the bathroom.
pretty much.
We're like,
It's really dumb.
So many fights at comedy in general, though. So
oh
many
yeah,
fights.
Yeah. So
Those school research
Were you-
officers were dozing.
were you a year below us?
Was that? Yeah, I was a year below you.
Yeah. Okay. So mine and Nate's sophomore year, which
the
is
first year we were there.
the first year we were there, because in Conway they have a junior high, which is 8th and 9th grade.
It's weird, people. It's
Yeah.
It's
it
weird.
doesn't make sense. Junior high
That's
should have
not-
just been like 7th and 8th, and then high school should have been 9, 10, 11, 12. But 9th is in junior high with 7.
And they still call them freshmen.
Yeah, this is on
Yeah.
freshmen.
And they
It's-
still act
because
like they're part of the high
technically-
school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they're at a different building.
So
They never
it
come to the
didn't
high
used to
school.
be like that. It actually started when they made the new building.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing before the main
Right.
building.
Because the junior high was the high school,
Yeah.
but the population boomed so much in Conway in so many years.
They just took a chunk off of high school and shoved it into junior high to
Yeah.
help keep
Right.
the
Because
total down.
even with 9th grade being in a different building, with the 3 grades, we had almost 3,000 kids.
Yeah,
in
we had
school.
I think my class was larger than your class even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Our
was,
class
Every
had like
class-
600,
Every
and then
subsequent
y'all had like
class
700.
has been larger than the last one
Mhm.
Yeah.
for the last like 20 years in Conway.
Yes.
it's growing.
Yeah. But anyways, within the first month of our first year of high school, a kid got hospitalized
Yeah.
in the courtyard.
Yeah.
What was this from?
So you probably did see the video, honestly. The
The
video,
video went around a lot.
it's a fight video. They always do that. But so the kid, there's outside of the like in the courtyard,
Yeah.
there's like brick walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting his head kicked into the wall.
Yes.
And they kicked him into the wall like 12 times before they stopped the guy that was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got jumped, so it was like 4 guys on one guy.
It turned into a whole fucking entire Royal Rumble, pretty
Yeah.
much.
There
Was a whole bunch of different people involved at different times. And
apparently
SRO took out their taser at one point. Somebody had a knife at another
somebody had a
point.
gun too,
Someone had a gun?
but they didn't shoot it.
I didn't
and
hear about this.
The guy that had the gun was intending to use it, but when he realized that they started the fight early, and like
I
he
didn't
got his
know
licks
about
in
that.
and then just left.
Chicken.
So like when they caught him, because they
Yeah.
caught him
So
on a few of the
guy
videos.
who started the fight, he ran.
Yeah.
Completely dipped. Completely just ran off campus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
Which he did. They did catch him.
Yes.
Because,
Well, the guy was in the hospital when we graduated.
yeah.
I don't know if he's still in the hospital now, but
I don't
he was
And the
like,
guy
comatose.
the
for a
guy
while.
who did it went to jail.
Yeah.
Tried it as an adult. Like, for real prison.
Because
jail or
I mean,
something.
because that person
That was
going to
attempted
be
murder.
debilitated for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that could have potentially...
So- and all because of a
Like-
high school fight. And it was so.
It was over a girl.
It was
of some
I
sort.
think he was dating his sister.
I think he was dating his cousin and said something to her.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever it wasn't worth it.
No.
It couldn't have been
never worth it.
No. Unless the guy was like.
Now, there are some things that I think could be worth something
Yeah.
of that volume.
But high school fucking petty squabbles like that.
Yeah,
it's too
Not
far.
worth it.
Are you dating my cousin?
I'm gonna kill
Right.
you. Like,
I'm
gonna work to kill you.
And that kind of set the tone for our whole sophomore year.
Yeah, pretty
10th
much.
grade. Because a lot happened that year.
This wasn't my grade. This was still while I was in middle school. But I used to be in youth groups at St. Peter's by the junior high.
Yeah.
So I had friends who were like in high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, when their year, so this is probably like class 2020 maybe.
Okay.
I don't
Way
know.
before. That's like the worst year.
Yeah. Anyway, this is pre-pandemic. It was like class of like 2020 or 2019. Some of the seniors in I think it was welding or it was
Sounds about
construction, either or, they were caught on camera. And it was definitely welding because they were caught on camera drinking whiskey out of a welding glove while
Oh my
operating
God.
heavy machinery
Yep.
in the welding class.
Sounds about right.
And I know this because I was pretty close with some of the teachers.
Why
who
did they
were
put it in the
in
glove?
first- I guess they were from the
They were,
what I
they
heard.
were
They were trying
hiding
to hide
a
it.
bottle.
They were trying to hide the
Oh.
bottle, but they were on camera. And from what I have not seen this footage.
They
but
do
I-
have cameras in the main welding shop,
So
but
it's
there are a
probably-
lot of blind spots.
So
Yeah.
maybe if they're in a blind spot. Anyway, they were caught on camera basically going. There you go.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. There's actually a few. I'm gonna tell one of them anyways. There's a really similar story that happened at the high school, the year before we got there.
Mhm.
So this was 2 years before you would have been there.
Yeah.
There was a video going around circulating. I saw the video.
Mhm.
A kid doing lines
Lines?
in the
Lines
cafeteria
of
bathroom.
cocaine, which I personally witnessed someone snorting lines in the welding class.
Yeah. So Conway is full of fake gangsters.
Great teachers, terrible place.
Great teachers. I
Great
mean,
teachers though.
honestly, some of the best teachers I've ever had were
Yeah.
in that building.
So if you want your kids to have great teachers, send them to Conway. If you
But
want your kids to be happy, don't send them to Conway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they're any kind of not straight white male.
Yeah.
If they're a straight white male, send them to Valonia, probably,
Yeah.
or Greenbrier.
Yeah.
But if you're anything out of that category,
No, if they're a straight white male, they'll fit right into Conway. But then they'll get into the bad groups.
Not very
So.
not very minority friendly Conway.
No.
Gee, no.
but the schools surrounding Conway are actually worse
Yeah.
when it comes to that specifically.
Yeah. Well, and
Conway's
it's
just
not
racist,
it's
though.
not necessarily
Yeah.
race that's a problem at Conway. Now there's a lot of racist people in Conway
Yes.
High School. But
Yeah.
it's not like it's mostly
I
if they're
bet they're young
gay
Republicans, yeah.
or
Huh?
any
I bet they're young Republicans.
Yeah.
There
But
is a
basi-
Young Republicans Club.
There is also
yeah,
a marksmanship
actually.
club. I do believe that's still going on.
Yeah.
Trap shooting.
Yeah, trap shooting.
I signed up to join. I went the first meeting and I was like, hey, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
There's esports too.
There,
Which I'm actually really glad that they're continuing the
it is a
coding classes.
very diverse group. Like there's
If you want to find diversity, go into computer science at Conway.
Oh
Yeah.
That's where all of the diverse people
So
live.
actually, we just watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Me and Zaid did just before this. That's why we're so late.
I wasn't invited.
You could have came.
You coulda come.
It's a public.
I
thing.
don't have money.
Okay.
I didn't
Well-
want to buy a ticket.
Yeah, that's.
I also had
But
stuff to do.
we just watched that movie with a bunch of people we knew.
Yeah, from our like computer science
Yeah.
classes.
we had
Great people.
We had
great
game
people.
design with.
I
most
didn't go the computer science route. I went the trade route.
Yeah, so that's why you were in the Fight Club and we were hanging out with cool people.
Yeah.
But you also weren't a Five Nights at Freddy's kid. I don't think you would have fit in as well as.
No.
You probably would have had friends in there, but you wouldn't
So-
have been.
I was in various clubs at different points. I kind of hopped around.
Yeah.
But my actual classes, I was in welding and I was in choir. Those were my two electives.
Yeah.
Throughout all of high school, those are the only two that didn't change. And I'm not a welder and I'm not a singer, but I know how to weld and I sometimes can sing. And I do know
I think
how
you
to
were
do
pretty
it.
good at singing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I could go work in a weld shop if I really wanted to. Like I did get
You do have your
those-
certification.
No.
No.
No, I
No,
don't.
that's right, because your welding teacher.
Welding teacher got fired.
Yeah.
He wasn't following the curriculum.
He was not following the curriculum, but they haven't been following the curriculum in Conway in the weld shop for 10 plus years.
And the worst part about that is Conway is the welding class for like
For
12
most of the
different
surroundings.
cities.
Yeah, so it is a career, it is an area career center.
Yeah.
So
You
just
have
about,
area students come in. From
yeah,
school
just
districts.
about all of the schools in the county sent different,
In the school district.
in the,
No, in the county.
In the whole county?
Yeah, like you'd have like an area of kids. You'd have like some people from Greenbrier, Bologna. You know.
yeah. And the career center is the only thing on campus that did that.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. You got to meet a lot of different people.
Yeah, there's so many different trades in that building.
Right. And the welding class almost ruined it all for everybody.
The construction class almost did the same thing a year before that, too. So the construction teacher.
We don't talk about the construction team. We don't talk
I mean,
about
we can
it.
talk.
I mean, we can talk about it, but
we just won't get into too many specifics. He was a Catholic priest.
Yeah, he
of teachers.
He's a bit grabby.
I mean, I don't. So we don't know if it went that far, but he was fired, and
He was fired over it.
he did not go to jail.
No.
Nope.
He was not tried, but he was fired,
Yes.
and they almost ended construction after that.
Yeah. So
And
A lot of
actually,
these
one of the
things-
JROTC teacher got in trouble for the same thing, but he quit before they fired
he
Who's this?
retired.
him.
Ooh. He had a name
him.
of a very,
I hated that guy.
very large pop culture villain,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yeah. So what's funny about that is I had him during my COVID year. So it would have been like 2020 or whatever. But I had that class and I was absent. Well, not absent, but I was home.
We did a
Online
virtual
for
option
most of that
here.
And in JROTC, one of the biggest things is the physical education. I didn't do any of that until the last month of school when I was there, and it was not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I passed it. I didn't. Also, never did any of my work. I barely did any of my work in any other class too.
Yeah, what's your time?
31:23.
But in that class specifically, I didn't do a single lick of work, and I still got a 100% in that class.
Yeah.
Barely talked to the teacher.
That
Barely
so
did anything.
in the
I
school
skipped the
that
class a few times, even when I was going to school.
yeah, the school that we went to, the school district that we were in the COVID years, they actually did a thing where they decided that it would impact too many kids' GPAs and grades. It would impact their grades too much, and it would impact the way.
Well, too many kids will be held back.
Yeah, too many kids would be held back. I was saying that in a weird way. So they decided to pass everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone the year and a half of the pandemic.
Yeah.
That whole entire school, 2 semesters.
Yeah, so I should have failed that year.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I should have too.
And I graduated.
You did.
Mm-hmm. I barely passed my senior year, too.
Yeah.
My
Same.
English grade was a 51%. No,
Yeah.
61%.
Yeah. So,
Barely
funny
beat.
story about that. Technically, I did fail my senior year. I went to a credit recovery class one day after all of the other seniors got out of school.
So
took me an hour and a half, and I passed it with an 87%.
credit recovery is really funny, especially
Yes.
in Conway, because credit recovery uses Apex Learning, which is a
Did you ever have
website.
to do that, Zaid?
Did you ever do?
I did do credit recovery.
Well,
You
I mean, the dude's in
I
college.
did.
so.
Didn't? Yeah.
But
For smell over here, you know.
But they did Apex, and if you did online school at all during COVID year,
Mm-hmm.
this is what they use for all the classes.
Yeah.
And as long as the teacher has them all unlocked, you can do all of the things.
Yeah. So
Like
I completed a whole 2 semesters of English in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And graduated.
Yeah.
Because when I'm motivated to do schoolwork, I'm pretty good at it. But usually I just don't wanna, so I don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's why I barely passed.
Let's talk about D&D now.
Yeah, let's talk about D&D.
Yeah.
So
It's a little bit
Zaid,
depressing.
Zaid is Zaid is my DM.
Well,
Well, he's not my DM right now.
So I used to host a game.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a homebrew, a bit of a mashup between the starter adventures you get from like Target or whatever. There's 2 of them. It's Lost Mines of Phandelver and Dragon of Icefire Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both fine on their own. They're like rated from like 5 to 10 level wise. They're pretty basic though. It's like go dungeon, kill some orcs, beat a dragon. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But when I met Nathan in high school, I was like really big in Dimension 20, and I loved live play, and I loved D&D, and I've been watching content for it for years, and I was like, man, I really want to do that. Little did I know Baldur's Gate 3 was going to come out like a year later, so I destroyed that game. Besides the point, I really wanted like an avenue to get out like that sort of experience, because I'd never had that experience before. I DM'd one game one time for some friends, like a birthday party one time. So I was basically going in blind, and there were these two people sitting in front of me, and I was like pretty kind of close with, and I was like, "Hey, you want to do a D&D game this Saturday?" And they're both like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Sure, why not? Yeah.
And that spiraled into about a 1.5 year long campaign, which is on hiatus. It is not done. It'll be actually we're thinking about doing that over Christmas, if you're free. Me, Rose, me,
Perhaps.
and Aiden were thinking about doing that.
Saying a lot of names, guys.
I don't think it had any context.
We did also say a lot of names in our last episode.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we did do that.
it's just it's a fun time.
Don't watch that.
We had a very fun time.
No, do watch
Absolutely
that.
do
Yeah,
watch
okay.
that. Actually.
Nathan was a bastard player, and
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a forever D,
he is a forever DM.
and so when I get to play,
Currently, both of
I
our
play.
DMs in a separate campaign.
yeah. So yeah, I'm their DM right now in a game right now. I was gonna talk to you guys about that actually, scheduling wise, but
Oh God.
yeah. Well, so yeah, one of the players couldn't do this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't do it this week,
Which
but
was talked about in the Discord.
yeah, so we could do it the 16th instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's fine.
Sounds great.
Every other Tuesday, but we can't do this Tuesday, so we have to do the other every other Tuesday.
Sure.
As long as it's after 2 p.m., I'm good.
Yep, it'll be. I don't remember what time. Whatever time the one player gets off work.
5:30, I think is the agreed
Something
upon
like
time.
that. Something like that.
Anyway, the campaign I ran for Nathan and some other friends was pretty good,
Yeah.
and it was so long. God, it was so long. It was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much two.
It was mostly so long because there were so many breaks in between.
Yeah, so what happened is we were actually pretty consistent scheduling wise because we'd only meet once every month.
Yeah.
So
Well, we were supposed to meet every week.
we were trying
right?
to go bi-weekly is what
Yeah.
is what we agreed upon.
But
and
we ended up doing it every month.
every
Once a
month. But there was a lot of breaks in between school.
Yeah.
One of my players, actually two of my players had robotics a lot, so
Yeah.
a lot of their Saturdays were eaten up.
Yeah.
We did it at a local game store too, so it was
Well,
like,
and so originally it was supposed to be 4 of us.
yeah, it's supposed to be 4.
It was me.
It was you,
We said Mason's name.
Okay.
I don't care. And then 2 other people that
Yeah.
you had invited.
it was you,
Yeah.
Mason.
Not me. I was not involved. Me and Zaid didn't really know each other.
No,
in high
I
school.
didn't know you really. I didn't really know you until like the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly recently.
I mean Halloween party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fairly recently, maybe like a year.
Yeah.
That was after high school.
That
After high
was. Because me and Nate have been out of high school for 2 years now. Which is crazy.
I've only been out for about 8 months or so.
Shut up.
I know.
I know. Make me
Yeah.
famous already, so I don't gotta do it anyway. So,
It's yeah. So it's just like, it was this really fun campaign. I loved doing it, and so we kind of. But the other 2 people who were supposed to do it with Nathan and Mason were some other friends of mine, who I'm not really that close to anymore. Just kind of went different directions.
Who
Nothing
I actually know separately out of that group and met them before Nate did. At least one of them.
I've never met them. They didn't show up to D&D at all.
Who-
Oh, are we not? Okay.
No, I mean,
I don't. I guess
which one did you know?
Aiden and Rose.
Oh,
no,
no,
that was-
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking
different
about the
people.
original 2. So,
Oh, yeah.
Aiden and
Okay,
Rose
my bad,
came to
my
their
bad.
sessions. We're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
besmirch them. They were model players.
Fuck those guys! No.
They were model players.
Well,
When I pitched
I
them,
don't know about model players.
I had
Models players for scheduling.
model player for scheduling.
That's-
They were always on time.
Oh, yeah. I was not. I was usually late. So, I got
Fun
a lot of
fact.
thoughts about that.
For the entirety of our last campaign that I was a part of with Nate, he was our DM. Zaid was not there. I think you were there for one of our sessions.
I think so for one.
I was the only player who was on time for every session. In fact, most of the time I was there
Oh,
before
yeah.
Nate
No,
was.
honestly, I will never complain about Blevin as a player. I obviously don't know how he is as a DM because I've only ever DM'd.
Which I do want to try DMing at some
You
point.
should, yeah.
fun.
But
Choose my yawn.
yeah. Speaking of DMing and D&D, if you guys would like to play a game of D&D, I do host paid D&D games on
Mr.
startplaying.com.
Chill over here.
Yeah, so
Sell
that's
out.
that's well. I mean, I'm selling my own
I'm
stuff
getting
though.
it,
So
I'm
it's,
getting it.
Yeah, it's
Self-promote.
But it's in the it should be in the description of this channel still because I changed the name, but I didn't.
right.
touch
We
the
have
description.
rebranded to the podcast channel. This is now Nader and the Hater podcast.
Yeah. So this was Nadertron's world. Now Nadertron, just Nadertron, is over on my other channel, and I also post on my gaming channel. And I've also been touching some TikTok live.
Let me rep this guy. This guy's a great DM.
Yeah.
He's DMing a game I'm playing in right
he
now.
He is a
great
fairly
DM.
good DM.
Great, pretty good
Come
DM.
on, fairly.
He has good enemy encounters, good plot.
I have actually had one other DM. They were pretty bad. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It was a high school club. We were supposed to meet once a week. We met maybe like once every 2 months, and we did not do anything.
I went to one of those sessions.
That's true, and it wasn't even the first one.
No, it was not. Because nobody talked to me about the schedule.
Yeah, we just didn't do that.
Yeah.
That was the issue.
Until the one day that I went. And
Yeah.
everybody was like, oh, let's go. And I was like, okay.
Here's some advice
just
for
woke
new
up.
D&D players. Make a Discord. Make a Discord server.
Make a Discord. Use your Discord.
Use Discord. Discord is the easiest way to schedule stuff when you don't know each other's phone numbers and you don't want to give your phone number. Just be on a Discord server.
Yeah.
Literally.
Or if you are an adult and have had multiple jobs, you will know what Slack is.
No, fuck that shit. Discord is not only better than Slack, it is exactly the same, basically.
Yeah,
So-
it's the same thing.
But it's better. Discord's
Just
better.
technically, Slack is more of a professional setting.
Yeah, but that's like lame, though.
Yeah.
Just
It's just an option.
Just use an application.
It's an option.
Like use something like Slack or Discord because then if you can't meet in person, you have the potential to do your sessions online.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I also suggest, especially if you know these people in real life, don't just make a group chat over text or Instagram or whatever social media.
like make
Don't
a
just make a
dedicated-
group chat. Make a dedicated. This is for D&D.
Like make
Yeah,
a scheduling
because
chat
we
and then,
have-
like a general chat.
Probably about 4 different D&D group chats on social media apps, and
They're
We
all
just-
memes. They're just
yeah.
memes.
Yeah, make a meme chat.
Also make a separate meme channel in your Discord.
You
Because
don't want
Which
memes in
recently was a thing that we did do, and it has been hilarious.
Didn't I ask
Yeah.
you for doing that?
yeah, you
Nathan,
did.
make
I
a
was
meme
like,
chat.
okay.
I will make memes. I love making memes for my campaign that
Yeah.
Nathan was in
Yeah.
originally.
Which is
Hold
really
on.
cool.
I'll see if I can find some.
I did make a meme for ours
They
because
sound like millennials. I did make a meme.
I made a meme.
We did
made
some
a
light
meme.
memes.
I got
Did a
meme.
little bit of memeing.
A little bit
Here
of
and
meme.
there. Why I said millennial? Why are we going to straight to Trump?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a little bit of memeing. My hands are too big to be Trump.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah. It was actually pointed out to me by a coworker recently that I have borderline abnormally small hands for the size of the rest of my body.
I mean, like proportionally, you kind of just have small ligaments, not ligaments.
No, yeah, ligaments is the right word because it's just my fingers.
Yeah.
I have a really large palm,
Well, in your
lots
head
of
too.
surface area.
Your head too. Like your shoulders are really wide, but then your head is just like.
Yeah.
Just like little.
It's the same with my feet. I got
Yeah.
little tiny itty bitty baby toes, but just a lot of the rest of the foot.
And you wear a size 12, right?
No. 13.
No, I wear a size 12. You wear a size.
It depends on the
13.
shoe. I wear boots all the time. That's a 13.
Yeah.
And then the only other type of shoe I wear occasionally are high top tennis shoes, and that's a 14.
There are several here. For people at home, you cannot see this, but I'm
Oh.
gonna
Oh,
write
okay.
these. The bomb.
Oh God. Okay, so for context, Zaid.
Ham.
Oh no.
We're
Okay, so for context, Zaid and I actually have the same rule, so we don't use encumbrance.
no,
No, because that's fucking
It's
lame.
so boring.
It breaks.
you
It
can't
breaks
pick-
immersion.
You can't pick
I
up that
shouldn't-
pickaxe. You have another pickaxe in your backpack.
I shouldn't have to be worried.
Losers.
I shouldn't have to be worried about what's in my backpack all the time. I play Minecraft enough.
Yeah.
I play, I don't know, Ark, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be a
Carry
good
weight is
example.
dumb unless it's
Carry
like plot
weight is dumb.
relevant. You know?
Right. So
But the players will abuse it.
Yeah,
If you
so-
set boundaries on it.
a bag of holding.
This mister is the biggest hypocrite because he's the one talking about this.
Yeah.
This man, along with my other players, I give him a bag of holding. Brother, he had a bag of holding. Did
You let me get
no,
it.
no, no. You had a bag of holding.
My character was an artificer.
Yes, so you could make one as well.
Yeah.
But you got a bag of holding. This is an actual magic item.
Yeah.
And after almost every single encounter, you chuck corpses into this bag.
Oh yeah. Until you didn't let me.
And
basically.
I was curious, and Rose was keeping track of this, I do believe, right? And it got to the point where I asked her, how much stuff is in your bag? And they wanted to put something in their bag holders, like, how much stuff is your bag holding? And they were like, 2,000 pounds? And I'm like, that's 4 times over the maximum carry weight of a bag of holding.
Yeah, so a lot of so also
The rocks.
there was zombies
And
right?
rocks.
There was human meat, there was zombie meat, and I think there were goblin meat too.
Yes, he killed some.
And then there
rabbits.
was 2,000 pounds of rock.
Yes.
So it all added up to like almost 2,800 pounds.
Here's some context.
Which is a ton and a half, by the way. That's 1.5 tons
That was made in the direct
of
response.
rocks and meat, right?
Uh-huh.
And we basically Zaid said you can't put any more in there or it'll
Because it was
explode.
dumb. You had
Yeah.
like 5,000 pounds worth of nonsense.
Completely
inside
fair.
holding.
Listen, I probably would have made them empty it right then and there. So I
Yeah.
completely understand.
I let them keep it under.
We get away with less shenanigans.
Well, honestly, what I probably would have done is made it to where the longer they keep all that stuff in there, over the carry weight,
Yeah.
the longer like the stuff would just start to disappear,
Mm-hmm.
which
But that's
would
fair.
solve the problem. Yeah, so
No,
you would have
no,
to
no.
get rid. Because it's a bunch of rocks. We didn't need
I
rocks.
wanted a more explosive solution.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if we put anything else in there, it was gonna explode.
Yeah, basically I said, like I said,
Real big
if you
deterrent.
put even 1 more gram of item in that bag, it will combust like Hiroshima. And
Yeah. So we called it Operation Green Rocket.
yes, because there was a ton of rotting green flesh inside that
And
thing.
it's almost like how most D&D parties, not me, I would never do this, but most D&D parties, if they get a wish spell, they're just going to keep it
Yeah.
and probably never use it.
Mhm.
It was almost like that. We held it in our back
It was
pockets.
your Chekhov's gun. It was your
Right.
It
Like,
was your
if
last
we get in a
element.
fight, we really can't survive.
You use Green Rocket.
We
and you
use
blow
Green
them up.
Rocket and they die too.
Yeah.
Basically.
So the last session we did, I think it was the last session, wasn't it?
No, because
Second to last session.
yeah, it was the second to last session.
Because you fought the demon last session.
Right. Yeah.
No, that was third to last session because we did 2 sessions of the demon.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a fight. There was a fight when they were fighting. They were in a giant prison, made by stone giants, and the hench and like the second in command to my big bad evil guy, my final boss,
BBEG,
BBEG.
for short,
So, but the henchman,
which is not shorter.
the second in command,
It's not. It's the same
he was
amount.
there and he was
Yeah.
basically, he was gonna execute him. He was gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
But he sends in the stone giants first, right? He's like, surely the giants can do it. The giants can do it. They got wiped after a
They
couple
got
rounds.
smacked.
So he comes in, right?
Yeah.
And he's a Goliath, and he is a Rune Knight fighter.
What's his name? Gavek Vakis?
Yeah, Gavek. His name is Gavek
Gavek.
Bacchus.
Yeah, I hated this guy.
Yeah.
Gavek Fox.
Real bastard.
He had actually already beat us in a fight.
Yes.
We ran away like
Yeah.
little pussies.
Oof. Yeah.
There's nothing we could do.
There's nothing
Literally.
we could do.
People say
We
that-
actually got him pretty low.
Yeah, you did.
You
'Cause
could
we-
never
'cause he
say
could-
that about
So
any of
my character had
characters.
You're like
a
level
really
6 when this
cool weapon
happens. Yeah.
that gave him a disintegration at level 9.
And you used it on him.
And I used it and he didn't counterspell and he got really low.
Mhm.
But we didn't have anything else to use.
No,
against him.
you would run out.
So we ran away.
This was a different encounter.
Yeah. Different
Uh,
encounter, sorry.
Yeah.
This is several. This encounter at the giant prison, they were like level 12 or so.
Yeah.
Maybe level
A
11.
few levels
Once
after.
once your players get above level 10, things start to get a little wacky.
Yeah, cap out
Yeah.
at 14. 14 is your hard cap because once you get past there, then people have wish spells. And it's
I've never done a campaign.
I'm not saying it couldn't be fun. I'm just saying it's impossible
Yeah.
to balance for. You have
Yeah.
to throw like 4 black dragons. At the party.
See?
Yeah.
See, I like that though. I
No.
started you guys at level 1,
I'm willing to have campaigns like that.
and it's gonna be grounded until you guys get to level 12. But after that,
I think starting us at level 1 was kind of goofy.
I don't know. I like it. I like low power combat. It really makes you appreciate your levels.
yeah,
That is true.
and
I
your
think-
items, your
It's like,
items
wow,
too, because
I'm
at a certain
scorching ray.
once you get to like level 8, like your items matter. Obviously, they'll always
But not
matter.
as much.
But your levels are the biggest thing,
Yeah.
and your spells and your own.
Sometimes items really matter.
Yeah. So the thing that gave him disintegrate for that fight, it was called, it's this item from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons called the Topaz Annihilator. It's this really cool like steampunk sort of like long rifle. It's
Yeah.
like, it looks like a hunting rifle except it's kind of steampunk
Yeah.
and it does force damage.
See, I am
And that's a great magic item.
I'm a big proponent against guns.
Proponent.
Opponent, I guess.
Sure.
Whatever. I don't like guns in D&D. For me,
Yeah.
it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. Sometimes, if it's the right setting, I think it can be done really well. Like Dimension 20's Fantasy High.
Yeah.
They're doing
it's like
it.
magical 80s.
Yeah.
Right, magical 80s. They've got basic guns, and a lot of people do like swashbuckler type stuff in their D&D campaigns, which
Or
is
like Wild
cool.
West style.
Like
at
that's
most.
what the difference. It's like a musket kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Which
but
is
it's
borderline
mostly
for
magic.
me.
Yeah, it's mostly magic. It's powered
Yeah.
by like a red dragon scale.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the only conceivable way to do guns is to reskin like bows and crossbows.
Mhm.
Anything different than that is usually pretty janky.
So that's funny.
I'd say a bow would do more damage
So
than a bullet.
in D&D, in the
At least on
2024
person.
rules, there's revolvers, there's pistols.
yeah, they
But-
do have them.
But
But
they do.
They do
bow
the same
damage.
amount of damage as bows.
Yeah.
Like a revolver is 1d6. Now, granted, you have 6 bullets before you need to reload, but it's the same because you can't shoot 6 bullets on your turn still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You only get one, so it's the same as a short gun,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah. No
Right.
Wild West.
right.
Anyway, Green Rocket.
So yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Green Rocket, it's important.
So my second in command, he comes up and he's a Rune Knight fighter, so he can go all
which is
giga-sized.
actually a really cool class.
It's really cool, especially on a Goliath, because Goliaths have giant blood in them, so it's like
so it gives you all kinds of extra goodies.
yeah, it's cool because it's thematic, right?
Yeah.
The guy who's part giant turns into a giant, you know. Anyway,
When we were fighting, he was the co-leader, not the co-leader. He was like the right-hand man.
he was
of
right-hand
this
man.
cult
Lieutenant.
that followed giant and dragons.
yeah. So basically, the gist of the cult is that this guy, the main villain is this guy named Zaid Krytos. He's a white dragonborn. He's a cleric at Tiamat, and he basically got besmirched by like I think it was the Morning Lord. He was a priest of the Morning Lord. Got besmirched
Yeah.
because he was doing
Yeah.
weird, evil ritual experiments on people's souls, and he got excommunicated. Left, came back with a vengeance, wants to conquer the valley, like the Sword Coast for Tiamat,
Yeah.
and bring her about. So he summons this dragon to the Sword Coast, and that, if you played the Dragon of Icefire Peak, is Cryovane, I think is the name of the actual white dragon in that story. That's the dragon he summoned, and my rendition of it. So the players just know that players are only summoned because, oh, there's a white dragon, we gotta defeat it. They don't know anything about this yet.
Yeah.
We're at 52.
All right.
Okay. So, and
So it kind of fits the thing.
kinda
that
fits
he's
in
a
'cause-
giant. He can grow really big.
yeah.
and-
Yeah.
It's like, because the promise of Zythram is to Gavek, the giant, the Goliath, is that, hey, the giant used to own the mountains in the Sword Coast, but the people came and drove your people out. If you partner with me, I'll give the mountains back to the giants and Goliaths. And he was like,
and
works
I'll
for
take
me.
everything in.
Yeah, I'll take everything else,
Yeah.
and you can have your mountains back. And he was like, works for me.
He's like, hell yeah,
Anyway.
let's do it. Yeah.
The combat was looking pretty bad for him. He turned super sized. He got
Oh,
a big
yeah.
HP pullback. This guy. Just describe it.
So
Describe what happened for me.
I do have to give a little bit more context.
Yeah.
So I have so my character is a golden warforged.
Yeah.
So he's a robot made of gold. He has
Think
like
C-3PO.
essentially he's C-3PO. His name is Codsworth, and he
What if
has
C-3PO went to the gym?
yeah essentially, and he's an artificer. So he has magic items. And he has, it was a gorilla
Yeah.
named Harambe.
Mhm.
Who's also gold.
A
made
steel
of gold.
defender.
Steel defender. He also had a dragon, but I always forgot that he had it, so
Yeah.
I've never. But anyway, so he had
Homunculus.
a broom of flying.
Yeah. A broom
Yeah.
flying.
that
From like a witch, she was a different tale.
stole it from her killer. It was golden also.
Yeah, it was a golden
And so he
broom.
took this broom of flying, and I really wanted to make a new character.
Yeah.
At this point, and I was like, perfect moment here.
Yeah, sacrifice.
This guy was basically, he was made to protect his owner. His owner was killed by the mafia.
Mhm.
And he killed the mafia members that killed his owner. And then he kind of just kept protecting the zoo like he was supposed to. Until the party came
Which is
along.
a fucking weird backstory.
Right, yeah, I know.
It
But,
worked in my setting.
so, basically he had adopted the party as his new,
Zoo.
he was protecting the party,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And, I was like, okay, this is perfect. He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, go off on a high note. Says do a sacrifice.
Yeah, so he takes the broom of flying, he goes above the guy, which there's a little bit of space between him and the ceiling, so he
Like
goes
if-
above the
if
guy.
The ceiling is like 30 feet tall. The giant is like 20.
And he specifically, so if you didn't know, if you open a bag of holding and fold it inside out, everything will just appear on the floor. So he didn't do that. He went above him, opened it up, and just let everything fall out.
And the back exploded.
And the bag just went... And he went up against the ceiling and fell down. And he did die, actually.
Yeah.
He got knocked. and so did my other character, which was not intended to happen.
So what they didn't know is that there was like an explosion. Sure, the radius on that explosion was like it was like a 40-foot radius.
Yeah.
It hit like a lot of people.
Which
Yeah.
is fair.
And it was right against the
that's how that should
ceiling.
be.
Yeah.
So not only did I think it knocked him out of his giant form. It definitely did.
Yeah.
And so it knocked him out of his giant form, took that away that HP pool, so he's back to being super low. He's on the ground, he's like stumbling. He caused the cave in basically because you're underground. You set off this like gigabomb underneath this cave.
There's 2,000 pounds of rock.
Yeah,
still
so not
flying
only
everywhere.
did he cause a cave in, he let a cave in out of his
more
back.
rock.
Exactly.
So
So it kind of exploded the cave, and then it's like a race to get out before everything collapses.
Yeah. And
And
the
you
guy, he cast a spell that was like
so
blades.
right after this happened, the main villain walks in and was like, "Useless Gavek, I'll do it myself." And it's like, "What the hell?" And he's like,
We're like, God damn it, we're about to get the guy.
"Yeah, he
Finally.
was about to get the guy."
We had
and
already given him a skull.
Daddy
across
comes
his
in to
whole
save the
face.
second in commands and keeps the ceiling from collapsing so he can take his guy. And anyway, they escape. You get res, don't you?
Yeah, so Codsworth and both of my characters got res.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna res my other character.
I think it was a greater restoration.
Right, and Codsworth was already there.
Or greater,
so they just went ahead and
yes,
grabbed him.
ones, whatever.
And at this point, I think Harambe was still dead, actually.
So, for those of you who don't know, when your character takes a certain amount of damage, when your character goes to 0 hit points,
You're not
you
dead.
go into death saving throws, which
Yeah,
is like
so
being
you get-
knocked in a video game.
Basically, you get, if you roll 3 times under 10,
You die.
you die.
But
if
if
you roll
you
3 times
roll
over
over
10
10,
or
you
a
go back
20,
up.
You come back
you
at
get back
1
up.
HP.
But if you're healed at all during the time, you instantly pop back up like you see.
Yeah, and then you heal for all.
Unless you do unless you go half of your hit points under 0, then you're just full.
Yeah.
That's like critical damage. It's basically if I had 100 HP,
If you're just really fucking dead, you're just really fucking dead.
Yeah.
like if you
Pretty
get cut in half, you're dead.
Oh, I also do it to where if you roll a 1, you full die immediately, unless it's your first one.
Oh,
That's
see,
a
I
lot.
didn't know
So,
that you did that.
yeah, well, you.
I mean, that's
I try
kinda
not
how
to
it
kill
works
you guys
anyways.
too often.
That's good
to be
enough for our
honest, but-
campaign.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so-
I have actually never had to do a death saving throw.
I have.
So I have this problem where I make my players way too overpowered.
You could have made our last combat a little more challenging.
Yeah.
You give
It
us
was supposed to be more challenging.
it was one sandworm and we kind of kicked its ass.
Yeah.
Well, it was a baby
So,
sandworm.
listen.
and I
Make it
actually
an
lowered
adult.
its HP
You shouldn't have.
because you guys are level 1, and those were intended to be level 3.
Well, let me drop my catapult on it, do 21 damage.
But I didn't
Boom.
think Rylan was going to be this intrigued by. So Rylan's character,
Yep.
Riley, is a PI, right?
Yeah.
He gets offered a murder case, and
Yeah.
he immediately goes all in for it, even though he's a PI. He has all these other cases to do. But I just wanted to set the tone
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
giving him something to go for.
A band of
And
mischiefs fall.
I had
in.
planned for you guys to go on that eventually, but
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
basically, I kind of just gave you guys a bunch of different things to do.
We kind of did it
And
all at once.
We kind of
And
did.
you kind of just did the
I
one
think we
thing,
got through-
actually.
I think we got through our topic very well, though.
Yeah,
You did a good
you're,
job
you're
on
doing the
session.
murder case. Great. You're getting
Yeah.
through it well, but you were supposed to be doing the murder case in like 2 levels.
Oh.
And I think I dangled it too close to the eyes.
You
and
did.
you guys were like,
The keys
Murder
were.
case.
If we're the baby and the keys are here, the keys should have been over there.
you
and they were
say
like,
you
we were
say
like,
you say
yes.
Gan. Oh wait, no, missing person case.
Yes.
You say Gan Schleppendonner is
Yeah.
missing, huh?
Yeah.
I see.
Let's
go
fucking
find this
go.
guy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. I also kind of did a thing where usually I have you guys meet in a bar,
Mm-hmm.
and usually it's in
We
the
met around
Hogs Inn
town.
and Tavern,
Yeah.
because Gumbly, my favorite character of all time,
Mm-hmm.
great.
We're gonna need a Gumbly origin story at some point, by the way.
I don't know.
We're
lot
gonna do a
about
flashback. So Zaid's actually never played in a campaign where Gumbly has been.
Gumbly. Yeah.
Um,
I have my own double.
So I am gonna at some point make a reason for Gumbly to be around for some reason.
He's a universe
Probably,
traveler.
maybe, perhaps. I mean, he's in this universe. He's just on a different
He
continent.
travels universes.
He does actually do that,
That
but
is
he's not.
true.
He's from a different continent,
Yeah.
and he's so originally he was a level 20 rogue and a level 20 ranger,
So he's level 40.
but that's not a thing. So
I wish it was a thing.
in the last campaign, he
You
was
can
just a
only
level
have
20 rogue.
levels. That's it.
And
Dumb.
yeah,
It is.
yeah, I know. But he was just a level 20 rogue. And that's why he died so easily to the Deathclaw,
Yeah.
is what it was.
That like Fallout.
Like from Fallout,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, they're dragons without wings.
Yeah.
Nate takes a lot of inspiration from
Oh, well, so my
Other
first
series
homebrew,
things.
well, not my first homebrew. So,
the second.
but the first real campaign that I did was called Pop Culture,
Yeah.
and so it was gonna be basically every fight, other than like a few like, oh, there's a pack of wolves here,
Yeah.
Right.
was gonna be people from
Like a
things.
reference?
It was just a big
Yeah.
reference.
It was all references, and so there was
like even my character for that campaign was a reference.
What's your
Really?
character?
I was a dragonborn and my name's Alduin.
oh, I mean
Oh.
your name was a reference.
Yeah.
so
Dragonborn.
so Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah.
He was a bear person, like an actual bear person.
Yeah. Freddy Fazbear.
And he worked at he owns a farm and he works at a children's
You
entertainment
called it
place.
something different. Like
Uh,
vaguely the same thing, but it
I
had something to do
don't-
with potatoes. I think.
Fazbear's Potato Emporium or
Yeah,
something like that. Because they don't
something
have. I mean, they just didn't have pizza.
Yeah.
Essentially, they did stuff with potatoes instead.
It was like a split hut.
They had like yeah.
Freddy
Sure.
Faz's Spud Hut.
Yeah, pretty much.
They had like loaded potatoes and loaded mashed potatoes and stuff like that.
There were still murders.
That was their whole thing. No, there wasn't.
Oh,
There was
damn.
actually.
There
There was
was.
missing kids, but it didn't have anything to do with William because he's dead
Yeah.
in this universe.
Which
Um,
we did not. It took us a second to catch on to that.
Yeah. So
Where is this guy?
where's he at?
Yeah.
So Michael owns the pizzeria in this one, and
Michael.
because he got it passed down from his dad,
Michael, you stole it.
and he is actually very concerned on what's happening with the kids.
Uh-huh.
And Freddy
Which we didn't
Fazbear,
trust at all.
no, of course not. Which makes sense, I get it,
Because
but
all of us had a basic understanding of all of his references.
Yeah.
At
So,
some level.
but Freddy Fazbear was also married to Maleficent, like just Maleficent.
Yeah. Which I actually thought was Morticia Adams when we first met her.
no,
I didn't catch on to the Maleficent.
I think I named her Melissa.
Yeah.
It's another M name, so you know whatever.
Well,
But-
this was also around the time that I was watching Wednesday for the first time,
Yeah.
so I had it on the brain.
But they had a kid that went missing.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm going to tell you the end of it because I'm not going to do
We're
this
not.
campaign.
We have
But-
we have. For if the audio quality's not good enough, he just ripped a big old fat honky fart.
Definitely blew a hole in the chair.
Yeah.
But, so their kid was missing.
Mhm.
By the end of it, you were going to figure out that this guy,
Canonically, in our campaign in between that one and now, we are 50
years later.
50 years in
And
the future.
So we didn't end the campaign. We
No,
only ended
but
it
it's-
after like the first
We didn't
months.
end it, but it's ended.
It's ended. So basically, in the same in the same world, all the events after your campaign actually still happen.
Yeah.
So even a few of the characters are the same. Like you guys met Montgomery Gator.
He
was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, we did.
So
That's right.
whenever you were doing the campaign, you met the guy. He was a pirate,
Yeah.
and he was helping kidnap the kids.
Yes.
And he got his
Oh,
leg.
that's right. And we chopped his fucking legs off.
No, you didn't chop his legs off. Somebody else chopped his legs off because he was cooperating with you.
Yeah.
you were
'cause
about
we
to kill
turned him.
Yeah, you were about to kill him, and he was like, "Okay, I'll tell you where he is. I just wanted money to settle down or whatnot, so I'll tell you where he is, and I'll just end it, right?" And as he was getting onto the island to show you guys where it was, he got his leg chopped off, and in the future, for the last campaign, not this one, but the one about the Deathclaw cult.
Which we haven't finished. I don't know if we're ever going back to that.
I don't know, to be honest, but
And I really hope we do because I love that character
Yeah.
for that campaign.
But the guy's he's in a wheelchair now, and he doesn't have any legs, but he's a level 20 barbarian.
Uh-huh.
So he's 50 years older.
Just in a wheelchair.
He's just in a
So
wheelchair.
he's a paraplegic.
Well, no,
Which-
he doesn't have legs.
We
Sorry.
actually did attempt to heal and reattach his legs.
So the way
But-
that healing works in my world is a little different than most people would probably do
Yeah.
it.
Another issue though, we for some reason just never have like a true healer in our party.
You do have that problem.
Because
You need a cleric. Or
honestly, just none of us.
or a druid. A druid works.
That's lame.
See,
Druids are
Paladin is my main class.
You got land hands. That's no excuse. Come on.
I just don't. See, I kind of take it upon myself as a paladin to just smite the fuck out of everything.
Come on, man. You gotta.
Paladins are
you gotta
supposed
have
to
a
be
heal.
1/4 healing, 3/4 fighting.
Yeah.
I do.
You gotta use your land
I
hands.
do.
You gotta use your.
I do like 1/6 healing, and then also
They're basically
4/4
a
fighting.
cleric's antithesis. A cleric is 3/4 healing most of the time,
They're like kind of opposite, you know.
and 1/4.
And actually, my next character that I'm going to create is a cleric, so I'm gonna try my hand at it.
Clerics are fun. You get a lot of cool spells, and you have a lot of utility. Clerics are the utility casters.
Yeah.
They like.
I did try my hand at a bit more of a magical class. I played an artificer for one of our campaigns.
I actually really like that character.
I also really like that character. I'm going to recycle
If
him.
wizards went to college and artificers went to trade school, clerics I think went to like a camp and they learned a whole bunch of shit. They went to like workshops.
Yeah.
That's actually very similar to the campaign that I'm currently watching in Fantasy High.
Yes, tell me about your experience with Fantasy High.
So I
Don't spoil too much. Though.
Oh yeah, by the way,
yeah
I recommended him. So
He did.
he likes D&D.
I
He
do.
was talking about. Were you talking about how you don't really like?
I was talking about how I tried to get into watching Critical Role.
Yes, it is
But
hard.
I have this thing. I got a little touch of autism. I don't like starting things halfway through, even if they're barely connected. If in chronological order there is something that came before that, I have to watch it, and it just does not.
But the
feel
first
right
season of
at
Critical
all.
Role is not.
But the
good.
first campaign of Critical Role is 10 years old, and it is on a streaming platform that is older than Twitch.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, but it was
Right, but it was
streamed.
originally streamed
Right,
on
yeah.
some
Yeah.
random old bunk ass streaming service.
Bad quality.
Bad quality. The audio's bad. They don't have all the funding that they have now.
Right.
It just, I didn't.
It's
like
like
it.
if us three decided to stream D&D Live Play right now.
Right.
Right now.
In this
On
room,
my phone.
on this bed,
Yeah.
on that phone.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
But their first campaign was animated and put on Amazon
Which is
Prime.
fabulous. It's
It
fabulous.
is fucking amazing. And I have been watching their second campaign animated.
I haven't seen it yet.
Go on and watch it.
I'll watch it.
As soon as you leave, as soon as you
Sure,
get
sure.
back to wherever you're
Watch it
going,
on the way home.
watch
I don't think I can
it.
do that while driving.
Watch it.
I don't
because
care.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
I think I sold Prime.
Yeah. If you don't, I will literally give you my
No,
Prime
I
account so you
got
can
Prime
watch it.
to watch a different show recently. I
Okay.
still haven't until the end of the month.
So I like D&D. I've been watching these shows, and Zaid over here suggested.
He likes live play. I said,
do.
hey, you want to know a live play show that has a good production quality, has a ton of good props and sets and battle maps. It's all custom made. I said, watch Dimension 20. A lot of it's on
which
YouTube.
I could start from their first campaign because they already have.
It's
lot
like
of the
6
stuff.
years old at this point. It was made a long. They basically started out like kind of small scale, but with really good production quality, and
Yes.
they went.
They had really
to-
good production quality because all of them, especially Burnley Mulligan, have been on YouTube for years now.
Yes.
Yes.
So they already had their shit figured out
Right,
because they were
right.
all. He was piggybacking off the YouTube channel College Humor, and they were trying to
College
think
Humor,
because they
Dropout.
which is now so Dropout was created during like before pandemic because College Humor was about to be sold by
Yeah.
Vox Media Company. There was a whole ordeal. Basically, they made a streaming service with the hopes of getting some more revenue in. Didn't really work for the beginning, but then after the pandemic and stuff happened after College Humor got sold, it took off a whole bunch because shows like Dimension 20, people really liked it.
And Dimension 20 is fucking awesome.
It's awesome, dude. They're on like their 20th campaign now, currently. They just finished one. It was called Cloudward Ho. It's like steampunk and airships.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So I
But-
haven't started it yet, but Brennan Lee Mulligan is a genius.
Yes.
He's like equally as good as Matthew Mercer as a DM. They're good in different ways.
Yes, and I have
Yeah.
seen some clips of it. I'm trying not.
They
to spoil
actually
it.
recently did a campaign together that
Yeah.
I've heard is fucking insane and really good.
Well, isn't he gonna do the next season of Critical Role too?
Yeah.
So
Matthew Mercer.
awesome.
Brendan
That's
Mulligan's
awesome.
going to be their DM, and Matt Mercer is going to be one of their players.
So the second
Oh, okay.
Dimension 20 campaign they ever did was called Escape from the Bloodkeep. I think it's on YouTube as well. It might not be, not all
So
of it.
their second campaign is the Unsleeping City.
Well, I mean, they're basically they have main seasons and they have second.
Oh
seasons.
yeah. The Unsleeping City was kind of a side thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet. I watched the first season of their first campaign, and then they did a second season.
So
Which
they
is-
did a second season of the same campaign.
Yeah,
So
So
they
it's
have
the
like
same
multiple
people-
recurring series. So
Oh,
Dimension
okay.
20 was their, Fantasy High was their first set.
Fantasy High freshman year. It's
It's fantasy, but set in the 80s in this
Yeah.
like different world. It's not
It's-
D&D world.
yeah,
It's essentially Onward.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Right,
it's
yeah.
like Onward.
That's
like
what I,
the
yeah,
reference point.
yeah.
and it's actually really cool.
Ready to
And
make some bacon?
specifically,
It's he said ready to make some bacon for like one of the episodes. The halfling. Whatever, you don't remember.
Yeah, it's fine.
anyways, so the country that they're from is the only like technologically advanced country, and the other countries around them are like the classic D&D, like medieval
Okay,
times
that's cool.
type of countries.
But for all intents and purposes, within the main country where 90% of the stuff happens, it's the 1980s, but there's magic people.
Yes,
Yeah, essentially.
and it's
I
actually
actually did one of those. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
it's really fucking sick, and I think we should do a campaign like
It's
that.
so I did a one shot like that. I didn't do a campaign like that, and you
Yeah.
guys were both in it, and I actually really enjoyed
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
That was Midas's
The
fault.
heist, yeah.
So in the one shot, you guys,
Which was actually really fun. I liked my character.
it was
that I did
it was
for
really
that.
cool.
My character, what, did he fight in Magic
I just-
Vietnam?
So,
Yeah, and my character was a Cajun rice farmer.
Yeah,
Or
you're
something.
smoking a lot of weed.
it was hard because I had to force you guys to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
Looking back,
also
I
we were
kinda
playing
regret
with
not
my
being
mom
this
and my
engaged.
sister,
Yeah,
which
I was
they didn't like it.
they weren't.
I
super
wanted them to
engaged.
try it because I thought that they might, but like my mom probably would like it if she played it with her friends.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't think she would like
Your
it. but I-
40-year-old mom would probably like it better if she played it not with a bunch of teenagers.
Okay. This guy, okay. So the whole point of the campaign is you're breaking into this casino and you're stealing some stuff from
Yeah.
this guy Midas. Think like Greek mythology Midas. Touch stuff
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, the problem arises when we get inside this building and the doors are covered in flesh.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, so the guy's the building. That's
Yeah.
how I mean that the guy is the building.
The guy's not the building.
The guy is not the building.
Right.
Everything he told us, he didn't tell us what he got, what explicitly.
Yeah.
But everything he implied to us made us believe the guy is the building.
So
Right.
the guy's not a building.
But he wasn't.
Yeah.
The guy just should have been in the building, man.
So the guy is a vampire,
Okay.
Right.
and he basically farmed himself for his skin, and would cut off parts of his arms and his legs and stuff, and would grow back eventually because he's a vampire. And he would paste that all over the building, and then if he touched a part of the building, he would also be touching this part of the building because that's
still
all him.
Yes.
So the building is him, but he's there.
The building is not him; it is covered in him.
Essentially, so you've seen JoJo's.
Yes.
You've seen JoJo's part 1, right?
And 2.
And 2. So he's Dio, but he can turn stuff into gold, and he has established himself as a very, very rich person, and
Yeah. Right.
that's really it. He doesn't really care about anything else.
We're just trying to steal his money.
He's
was,
a Dio vampire.
I was a roguish Cajun orc who was a crawfish farmer.
Yeah.
And I really like that character, and I'm gonna use him.
I like the character.
I don't like forcing you guys to do things with your characters, but
Occasionally, you just kind of have to.
and you had to be thieves for this one because it was a one shot, and
Right.
I couldn't just set up.
And I actually really
I
like
was
that
a
you did that.
cleric.
I actually really like that you did that because it made me step out of my comfort zone a little bit. Because normally I'm just like hit stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And every campaign that I've been in so far, I have played a different class.
But you kind of play them all similar.
Yes, I do, and I'm trying to get away from that.
Well, anyway, this guy, he had a vampire as his villain. I didn't know that. I just thought we were breaking into Vegas.
Yeah.
So I come in with a cleric because I was like, you know what? Probably no one's gonna pick support. I'll be support.
Correct.
I want to be nice because
Yeah.
I have DM brain like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I come in, and we're like what, level 6 or so?
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Okay, we had 3rd level spells.
Which was under or over level,
Yes.
Anyway,
per usual.
we
Yeah.
go in.
That's a different thing.
The guy walks down the stairs.
I thought it was going to be harder because you had 2 people that had literally never touched the game before.
Anyway, the guy walks down the
Anyways.
stairs. He's a vampire. Me
They
being a
weren't really
cleric.
helping.
No.
Me being a cleric. I was a trickster cleric. Don't get me wrong, but I was still a cleric.
Yeah.
I had a daylight in my spell list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a vampire.
Vamp-
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this hard counter right here.
You got really easy
daylight.
after that.
It
Yeah, so basically you wiped out all
all the minions.
the guys
Yeah.
except for
And then
Except for Midas.
he did something like Stone Skin. He like turned himself into gold so he wouldn't be affected by
Yeah,
the
so
daylight.
essentially you know Fortnite Midas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I took a little bit of inspiration from that, and he turned himself to gold, but didn't like stop being able to move and stuff. Essentially, he's immune to daylight.
Scientifically impossible.
Whatever.
But he's immune to daylight,
Yeah.
but he still has all the benefits from.
He
being
was not immune to my stealth attack arrows, though.
Yeah.
And he wasn't immune from radiant damage either.
No.
He was not immune to radiant damage, but he was immune to sunlight itself.
Yes.
Yes.
So
But he still had
that you did it like that.
he still had the sunlight over him.
Because
I think the orb was centered on him. I think I cast him with the daylight.
Yeah.
Because you can make it either an area of effect or a target something that glows.
Well, so it was also this. It was supposed to be this
we're at
really
an hour
cool.
15, by the way.
Oh, we got
yeah.
15 left. Okay.
It was supposed to be this really cool set because
It was
he was
cool.
gonna reveal himself, and you were all in completely different places whenever he.
No,
revealed
I was in the main
himself.
lobby. I was.
Yeah, there was 3 people in the main lobby. Everybody else was like, somebody was trying to get out through the kitchen. That's when you realized that you were like, oh, he's the building.
Yeah, because someone.
He's like, no, there's somebody walking down the stairs. That
So-
looks like Midas. He's
What
there.
was the deal with the door in the kitchen? Someone touched the door and they turned to gold.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, he used all of his skin across the whole building,
Yeah.
and then used his fingertips, which was the thing that turned things into gold,
Yeah.
on the doorknobs.
Mhm.
So that if you tried to escape
You turned
while he was activating the thing, you would turn to gold.
Yeah. So and then immediately after that, I was like, "He's the building," and he was like, "No, he's not the building.
Not
He's
the
not
building.
the building."
No,
He
he's not
got-
the building, dude.
And I really hate to interrupt this beautiful storytelling moment. It is 10 o'clock, and I do have a job. I do work
I'm hungry.
tomorrow. And I'm also really hungry, and there's really good food out there.
Yeah.
So any closing notes from
Any
you,
closing
Nathan?
notes?
Oh, we got to do our weekly hate.
Weekly hate.
What's the weekly hate?
We just hate. We just find something to hate
So,
on.
because we are Nader and the haters,
Oh, that's in the
we
name.
don't always have something.
we don't always
to
have
hate
something,
on for the episode.
but we try to think of just something that we hate.
Right.
because
So
that's
like
kind of
last
our
week,
motto.
we tried to put some Popeyes.
Yeah.
And we didn't hate the Popeyes, so we just kind of threw something else in there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were.
One of the days we said we don't like that teachers aren't paid enough.
That's true.
So it could be anything.
Just anything that you have a specific disdain for.
But I'm gonna let you do it. So.
No, don't go.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
ready. One of you guys go.
Yeah, you do it first. So I really hate Electro Giant players in Clash Royale.
Okay.
That's fucking lame.
You gonna elaborate?
Gotcha. If you play the game, you understand. That's.
I really hate when you accidentally trap yourself into a phone call with a neo-political relative. And that happened to me earlier today.
Oh no.
And there was some mentionings of a recently forcibly deceased political figure.
Political figure.
And also
That's
not...
giving him too much credit.
Yeah, well, we try not to talk about politics on here.
Yeah.
There was also some negative mentions of a person who had something really bad happen to them a few years back and started a really big movement. And
Yeah.
he was saying some weird things about minorities and
So we
said-
can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But you hate him, or just being being stuck in those conversations?
Yeah, because I was reaching out to find somebody to help me with some manual labor, and he was getting back to me about that, and that's what the conversation was supposed to be about.
Oof.
And then you just
Yeah.
He ulted on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's my weekly hate.
I hate my other girlfriends, you guys, not playing video games with me when I ask them, hey, you gonna play this video game tonight? And they're like, yeah, we can do it. And they get on and they're just like, I'm really tired. Can we just play something else? And I'm like,
I wonder.
but you said
Who
we were playing Helldivers.
It wasn't me.
No, it's not either of you.
It wasn't me, but I did do that to Blevin a lot during 2020.
Yep. Yeah.
I was depressed and I wanted to play Minecraft or
We
Fallout,
also-
or literally anything else.
There were very specific instances where I wanted to play a new game, bought the new game, and shared it to
That's
Nathan
the worst.
so that we could play it together. And then he just wanted to play Fortnite in Minecraft. and it happened on multiple occasions.
That's when you start killing his D&D characters.
I'm the DM.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even. Okay, can I say this one more time?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, there's this character. They were talking about who's your favorite NPC?
Gumbly.
Gumbly. I have a Gumbly of my own.
Adabra?
No. Danton Tall's.
Oh yeah. No, they're completely different though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, my favorite. Every good DM should have an NPC.
Yeah.
That you have throughout all your campaigns. That's there to move the plot.
I actually have like 12 of those.
Okay.
Gumbly doesn't really move our plot.
Well, I'm just trying to say, have that in your back
I mean,
pocket.
he does
Yeah,
a
he's
little
like
bit.
the plot device for every campaign.
Yeah.
He gives you all of your missions except
He
for this
starts
one-
the
this-
plot,
Yeah.
but he doesn't keep us on track.
Well, I mean, this last one he was a little important.
Yeah, that's true.
He almost died actually helping you guys fight the Deathclaw cult the last time you fought.
It's just a good tool to have because, like, when you, especially in a
Right.
small party, and you need to drive the narrative, you're like, we don't know what to do. It's only two of us.
Okay, hold on. I have a different weekly hate.
Okay.
Specifically, DM NPCs that are party members, along with the main party.
That's your weekly hate.
That is one of my weekly hates.
You wouldn't like my campaigns.
Why? Sometimes they can be done right.
You like Gadriel or Galador?
Yeah, Galador was okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't a
Didn't
big
like
fan.
Harold.
You wouldn't like that.
I wasn't a big fan of Harold.
Dude killed himself for you.
Yeah, he was a cool dude, great guy. I think I just didn't like the
He
way
literally
he played.
took his soul out of his chest and blew up. Bro. That was so cool.
Yeah, you stole that from Baldur's Gate.
I did not, actually. I made that up and did not realize that shit was in Baldur's Gate. And on top of that, I've literally never played or seen anybody play Baldur's Gate.
That is the first ending that you can get to in the game in Baldur's Gate.
Didn't know that.
You just. We're about done.
Yeah, we're wrapping it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know because you work.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so that was our
You're
weekly
gonna edit
hate.
this, right?
No, it's live.
Oh,
What is this
I
live
guess-
on? Wait,
What is
YouTube.
live
yeah.
on YouTube. What's
Yeah.
your YouTube channel? I wanna listen to
Nader
This
and
one is
the
Nader
Haters.
and the Haters.
Let me
Haters
hold
with a
on.
Z.
They're-
Haters with a Z, yeah.
Anyways,
It might also come up as Nadertron because I haven't changed the handle. I've just changed the actual username.
anyways, this has been Nader
This one.
and the Haters.
Yeah. No, not that one.
We're wrapping it up for this week. I know it was a little late.
Yeah. It was my fault. I was watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I'll tell you what. That's not a weekly hate. That's a good movie.
Hey, it's not a hit at all. It's a
Peak.
freaking movie.
I haven't seen it. Anyways, we will catch you guys next Friday.
This was,
I won't
this
be
was
here.
Nader and the Haters with Zaid.
Nader and the
This week.
Haters with Zaid.
Zaid.
He might be back again at some point.
I may be back at some point. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another D&D. Maybe we'll actually play D&D on the channel at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Perhaps.
Zaid will most likely do
Probably
it.
not for the podcast, but
No,
maybe like
no,
alongside it, perhaps. But that was it. So. Is it still going? No, it's still going. How do I stop it? Turn it off. Make it stop. Make it stop. I found it.